welcome back.
Or welcome to
Best Friends Nonsense. How's everybody doing? Hopefully good. Hopefully you have power.
Yep.
That was fun.
If you're on the East Coast, or, the eastern half of the U.S., basically.
Mm-hmm. Hopefully. I mean, everyone affected. I mean, you're in our hearts, hopefully. You're okay, and nobody you know is missing, and everything's all right. And for us, we were actually pretty lucky.
We've both been pretty lucky, actually.
Yeah, we were only out of power for a day. For about, I think, 26 hours we were without power.
Ours flickered.
Oh.
That's all we got.
Wow, you're luckier than I am. But I mean, I kept telling myself it could be worse. So, but for here, like, our lights flickered, and they were heavy flickering for a little bit. And I was like, okay, so I gathered all of our candles that we have and all the flashlights that we have. And I was getting hungry, and I literally just put bagels in the toaster, and then I heard it flip off, and I was like, no,
my bagels.
Yeah, I was so mad. I'm like, I can't eat cold bagels.
That would be the saddest I'd still eat it.
I'd
be committed. Yeah,
I did. I ate the bagel. Boo Boo ate the other half.
Yeah. See, there you go.
Yeah, and we were not prepared at all. We had no, what's it called? Non-perishables. We had nothing. All we had was peanut butter and bread. So that's what we ate for the first. But then thankfully, my parents, we stayed the night at their house.
Yeah.
And it was 11 p.m. when we finally got there. But yeah, I'm always glad that I can go there and whatever. And we slept on the cold, hard ground. Because all the beds there are taken.
Yeah.
And I didn't want to kick my mom out of her bed. So I was like, we'll just sleep on the floor with comforters on the ground. It'd be fine. And I slept probably 4 hours.
Yeah, see, sleeping on the floor as an adult versus sleeping on the floor as a kid or a teen.
Yeah.
Wildly different.
Yes.
Wildly different.
Because I remember telling Joshua, I was like, this didn't feel as hard when I was a child.
Yeah.
Granted, I didn't really sleep at my grandma's house. She would stay up with us. They always talk about, grandmas and, grandparents want to go to bed early, and the grandkids go to sleep.
Would stay up.
Yeah, she would stay up with us. We would, what would we do? We would do puzzles. She would read. We would just play around. We would go downstairs and play on the pool table. We would just do anything. And then in the morning, she would make my papa go get McDonald's. Yeah, I was thinking about it, but I didn't know if anybody had power, it was almost here, my entire neighborhood was pitch dark.
Yeah.
It was like a horror movie. It was dark. It was scary. And with all of the big wind that was happening and the downpour, it looked so scary outside. Yeah. I'm glad yours stayed on, though.
Yeah. And the power stayed on at work. And because there's so many people around the area that are even still without power, we were slammed. Saturday, we did more sales than we did on Mother's Day, which had been the busiest. Mother's Day was the busiest day that my man bun manager, had seen since he started at our store. But Saturday beat that. We had over $16,000 in sales.
Wow.
And we're not a massive restaurant. We're a mid-size.
You're not a mom and pop.
We're not a little mom and pop, but we're just an average chain restaurant size.
Yeah.
We're not anything huge. So our dinner rush lasted a solid 4 hours.
Yeah.
Trickled on for another 2.
Right. Well, because you got to think also, like, if they don't have power, then they don't have a hot meal.
Exactly.
And, like, if they're like me, peanut butter sandwiches don't. Yeah, exactly. Because peanut butter sandwiches do not hold you over. I learned that the hard way. Like, I was so hungry until we got power on Saturday night. And I'm like, I was sitting over here. And Josh was just fixing up some stuff because he was bored. We were all bored. We were like, there's nothing to do here. Yeah. Because without Wi-Fi, we had terrible service. And you got to think, if we, like, everybody in the neighborhood, if they don't have Wi-Fi, then they're also on the power line. So, like, everybody was using the cell phone service at the same time. We got to do something before it's the apocalypse. Like, we got to figure something out, guys. Like... if the power going out puts all of us in the state of mind like it might be the apocalypse, then we got to do something. Because I had one 5G and that loads nothing. I was lucky if I could even contact my parents standing at my window. Like, it was bad. But, what was I saying? Oh, so, like, we got it on Saturday. Because I was so worried about my turtle... Leia, because I looked it up, and I guess semi-aquatic turtles are okay as long as their water temperature doesn't go underneath 65 degrees.
Yeah.
And she was sitting, like, the first day she was like 77, and then it went down the next day to 70, and I was like, if it goes any lower, I'm going to have to take her to my parents' house.
Yeah.
Because it worries me.
Yeah.
She survived more. Worse. I don't know what I'm trying to say.
She has been through worse before and came out just as strong.
Yeah, because back when I first got her, she's 10, and when I first got her, they told me, no joking, the guy that sold me her said she doesn't eat, she doesn't need, like, water or food, and she doesn't go to the bathroom. I'm like, bacteria even goes to the bathroom. What do you mean she doesn't go to the bathroom? What are you talking about?
Yeah.
I was just ecstatic. I'm sure I looked like a weirdo kid because I was just excited that I was going to get a turtle. Because you guys know, I love turtles. They are, I love them so much. So I was just excited to get a turtle. The guy could have said that she didn't even need sunlight. And I've been like, okay, whatever. So, like, I knew nothing about turtles. And she didn't even have the proper, like, lighting until about 4 years ago. And that's why she was this big for a very long time.
Yeah.
Because she needs a light 24/7. That's her heating lamp. And that needs to be on 24/7 to keep her warm enough. And then she has another light that's a UVB that helps her digest her food and to keep her skin okay, I guess is what it's for. But it's mostly for digesting food. And she didn't have that up to 4 years ago. Like, that poor turtle.
No.
Like, how did she not die? And she still doesn't have, like, a lot of people, like, with their water, they, like, distill it or, like, do something special with it when they put it in. And she gets water from the tap. Like, she lives. She's fine. And, like, I didn't have a proper feeding thing for her for the longest time. Like, I just found out how to feed her properly a year ago.
Yeah.
And she's actually not a chubby turtle anymore. Did you know they can grow so chubby that they're going to explode out of their shell?
That's bad.
Yeah, because she was getting rolls outside of her shell. She was getting rolly. So I'm like, okay, she's an obese turtle. I got to, like, figure out how to feed this thing. Because technically she should like vegetables, at least lettuce and tomato, like stuff like that, and she's terrified of it. She's scared. I once because I ran out of food once, I put a tomato in there and she bit one side because she was attacking it. She didn't mean to eat it. Like, she is scared of them. So she only gets pellets and, like, freeze-dried worms, like the mealworms or whatever they're called, shrimp, and something else. So, but it seems to work. She's better, you know. But yeah, so she's okay. Everybody, she's okay. Her name is Leia. I don't know if I ever told you guys, but we got a thing about L's in this family, apparently.
Yeah.
Because I got Lily, Lindsay, well, that's me, and Leia. Yeah. Poor Josh was surrounded by girls, but it's okay. He doesn't seem to mind.
Yeah.
We're currently dog sitting. My aunt went out of town literally the day that the hurricane came to Ohio. She left to go to Florida.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. I don't know what part, but yeah, she's there right now. And she got there safe. They're fine. But their dog is so skittish. She's a pit bull. She's white with a black spot on her back. And her name's Angel. And she's so scared. And I think she misses her mom and dad because we've been taking her out. That's her last time being out for the night. So, like, we're trying to just let her out so she doesn't go in her cage or in the house. And yesterday was the first day that she actually, like, let us take her outside and, like, she went potty. That was the first night. We've been doing that for 3 nights now. So the poor thing, she's just scared and sad that her mom's gone. And I just want to brag on my niece for a little bit because was that Saturday? No, it was Sunday. We went to my niece's showcase for cheerleading, and I didn't exactly know what that meant. And apparently it's like just showing off for the school and for parents to come see the kids cheer. And my sister and brother-in-law couldn't go, so I was like, well, I feel bad. I want someone there to cheer on my niece, so I'll go. And so me and my little family went, and oh yeah,
I'm just starting
painting.
on it. So I'm painting a little thing. I'm getting like, I can't let this sit in my lap any longer without starting to work on it because it's cute.
It's pretty cute, yeah.
It's not sponsored. I got it at Michael's because I wanted something to do to keep myself
here.
Yes.
I get it.
Like, present.
Yeah. And so we went and they were like little 4th graders all the way up to like varsity high school. And so each little team got to do their thing, and it was so cute. And like, I got teary-eyed watching her, and I'm like, if I'm getting teary-eyed watching her, how am I gonna watch Boo Boo do anything without being a blubbery mess?
Right.
Like, because she did so good, and she's so hard on herself. And I understand, because anything that has your name attached to it, and it's your, like, you're doing it, and you just want it to be perfect, and I get it, because I'm the same way. Join the club. But, like, you gotta embrace your, like, what you did right, not only focus on what you did wrong. And apparently she has a really mean coach that like yelled at them after their performance and told them basically that they suck and that they need to try harder. And I'm like, what are you talking about? They were perfect. And I walked up to, because she was crying. I know she gets embarrassed. Sorry, you said your name. Because she got embarrassed that she was crying anyways, but her coach was in the hallway. Dude, look at me. I cry all the time.
I cried yesterday.
Right.
Wait, no, the day before.
I almost cried today.
I was fine yesterday, actually. It was a pretty good day at work.
Oh, that's good.
It was just slow.
Yeah. So she
slow
was
day.
crying, and her coach had her by the, like she was talking with her coach, I guess, and she was crying. So I walked up to her and I was like, "Why are you crying?" And I guess that made her coach kind of like, I saw her do a double take at me, and I've been in the mood lately that's like, I dare you to say something to me kind of thing.
Yeah.
Like, my niece is crying. I'm going to find out why. I don't care who you are. And I guess that made her coach stop yelling at her. I don't know. I didn't see any yelling, but you know, maybe it was like her face or something. Because I remember being that old, like the age she is, and any adult talking sternly at me, I'm like, why are you yelling at me? So
That's still me now.
Exactly. Same.
He's not yelling at me. I'm just a baby.
Yeah, seriously. So, anyway, so that's my update. I'm just, you know, yeah, I'm proud of my little nieces and my nephews, and yeah.
Well, I've been working little bit of flirting, mostly working. This is my first day off after a 5-day stretch. I was supposed to have 2 days off, but now my friend needs off for a very important reason. So I'm working for her, but only tomorrow morning because I promised my nieces that I would be there for them tomorrow night so that we can have ourselves a little nieces and at halftime.
Oh, it's a theme, I see.
Yeah.
I was just talking about my nieces, you know.
Oh, yeah. But, no, 'cause I live with them.
Well, yeah.
And I barely see them anymore because of my work schedule. I work mostly nights. So I really barely see them. The most I get to see them is when I get them ready for school in the mornings. But they're very upset that they have not got to see me in a while. And they literally tried to convince me to call off work yesterday. Or not yesterday, the day before. Sunday. They tried to get me to call off because I recently opened up my availability on Sundays. Because it's so much better money, and they've been getting killed lately on Sundays because nobody will open up their availability. So I'm like, you know what? I had it to where I didn't work Sundays so that I could do things with my family, but my family never wants to do anything. So it's kind of pointless for me to have them off. Defeats the purpose, and I'm not in school anymore. So
Well, I mean, kind of, but you still need a day to relax.
Well, yeah, but I mean, I have other days off.
I know, I'm just saying, you need, that work-life balance.
Yeah, but that would involve, I just don't like being at home very much. I
know.
I don't like being there, so I just do things that keep me not there.
Right.
And that works better. It's honestly beneficial for my mental health. But, yep, that and working and I was trying to think, was there something else? No.
No.
Nope.
Well, I've been spending some time recently with my cousin that I used to work with that we kind of lost touch because she was going through a tough time when I had boo-boo. It's raining. Yeah, so, we kind of lost touch, and I told her, I was just letting her live her life, and she had enough people putting their nose in her business. I wasn't going to be the same. I was going to let her figure it out, and you can talk to me when you're ready kind of thing. Because I do that, I'm just that person that I'm like, you can do you, and I'll do me, and I'll see you when you have time. No hurt feelings at all. So if I ever do that to you, you guys don't know me, but some of you do. So if, we ever lose touch, it's because I'm just giving you space. Because I'm not going to push myself on anybody. We were just talking about that before we started.
Yeah, exactly.
If you don't answer me, cool. If you do, cool. You come to a party, awesome. If you don't, we'll see you next time. I am such a go with the flow.
It's not that deep. It's not that personal. It's not personal.
Nope.
Oh my goodness, so many people make everything so personal, and it's dude, you understand that this is not about you. It's not about you. Other people have things going on in their lives that you don't know about, and it just is what it is.
Exactly.
And they're not, the last thing that they need is for you to be sitting there huffing and puffing about having hurt feelings when they're dealing with something that could be really big and you just don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Ugh.
And I understand,
Sorry, that's something that drives me nuts. It's a pet peeve.
Right. Yeah, and then I can understand the other part where they're just I miss them and I wish they were still in my life. And I totally understand that too. But sometimes you just gotta let people go. Sometimes, my mom said something recently where she says, if somebody really wants to fly and you're holding them, then you just need to let them go. Don't hold on to something that just wants to escape.
Exactly.
And I was like, that's a good point. I like that. Anyway, so that got deep.
Yeah.
Where'd that come from? I don't know. So today I have only one creepypasta, but it's supposed to take a bit to read. So if we have extra time, I'll read the other ones, because I got them off creepypasta.com. This one, like I said, is from creepypasta.com. It was posted in 2010. I went to like the highest rating ones, and this one out of 10 is 9.11, and 21,000 people voted for it, and it's called Psychosis. So, as we're getting into it, get ready, get your pillow, get a snack.
Get your snack, get you a little activity to keep you zoned in.
Yeah. And here we go. Ready?
That's what I need with my ADHD brain.
I feel it. Okay, so it starts Sunday. I'm not sure why I'm writing this down on paper and not my computer. I guess I've just noticed some odd things. It's not like I don't trust the computer. I just need to organize my thoughts. I need to get down all the details somewhere objective, somewhere I know that what I write can't be deleted or changed. Not that that's happened, it's just everything blurs together here, and the fog of memory lends a strange cast to things. Interesting. I'm starting to feel cramped in this small apartment. Maybe that's the problem. I just had to go and choose the cheapest apartment, the only one in the basement. The lack of windows down here make day and night seem to slip by seamlessly. I haven't been out in a few days because I've been working on this programming project so intensively. I suppose I just want to get it done. Hours of sitting and staring at the monitor can make anyone feel strange. I know, but I don't think that's it. I'm not sure when I first started to feel like something was odd. I can't even define what it is. Maybe I just haven't talked to anyone in a while. That's the first thing that crept up on me. Everyone I normally talk to online while I program has been idle, or they've simply not logged on at all. My instant messages go unanswered. The last email I got from anybody was a friend saying he'd talk to me when he got back from the store, and that was yesterday. I'd call with my cell phone, but reception's terrible down here. Yeah, that's it. I just need to call someone. I'm going to go outside. Well, that didn't work so well. As the tingle of fears fade, I'm feeling a little ridiculous for being scared at all. I looked in the mirror before I went out, but I didn't shave the 2-day stubble I've grown. I figured I was just going out for a quick cell phone call. I did change my shirt though, because it was lunchtime, and I guessed that I'd run into at least one person I knew. That didn't end up happening. I wish it did. When I went out, I opened the door to my small apartment slowly. A small feeling of apprehension somehow already lodged itself in me for some indefinable reason. I chalked it up to having not spoken to anyone but myself for a day or two. Only having to speak to yourself. I do that anyways.
Yeah.
I peered down the dingy gray hallway, made dingier by the fact that it was a basement hallway. On one end, a large metal door led to the building's furnace room. It was locked, of course. 2 dreary soda machines stood by it. I bought a soda from one on the first day I moved in, but it had a 2-year expiration date. I'm fairly sure nobody knows those machines are even down here, but my cheap landlord just doesn't care to get them restocked. I closed my door softly and walked the other direction, taking care not to make a sound. I have no idea why I chose to do that, but it was fun giving in to the strange impulse not to break the droning hum of the soda machines, at least for the moment. I got to the stairwell and took the stairs up to the building's front door. I looked through the heavy door's small square window and received quite the shock. It was definitely not lunchtime. City gloom hung over the dark street outside, and the traffic lights at the intersection in the distance blinked yellow. Dim clouds, purple and black from the glow of the city, hung overhead. Nothing moved. I remember shivering, though I wasn't cold. Maybe it was the wind outside. I could vaguely hear it through the heavy metal door, and I knew it was that unique kind of late-night wind, the kind that was constant, cold, and quiet, save for the rhythmic music it made as it passed through countless unseen tree leaves. I decided not to go outside. Instead, I lifted my cell phone to the door's little window and checked the signal meter. You can definitely tell it's a 2010. The bars filled up the meter, and I smiled. Time to hear someone else's voice, I remember thinking, relieved. It was such a strange thing to be afraid of nothing. I shook my head, laughing at myself silently. I hit speed dial for my best friend Amy's number and held the phone up to my ear. It rang once, and then it stopped. Nothing happened. I listened to silence for a good 20 seconds, then hung up. I frowned and looked at the signal meter again. Still full. I went to dial her number again, but then the phone rang in my hand. Startling me, I put it up to my ear. "Hello?" I asked, immediately fighting down a small shock at hearing the first spoken voice in days, even if it was my own. Is this person just not talking out loud?
Yeah, I guess not.
I had gotten used to the droning hum of the building's inner workings, my computer, and the soda machines in the hallway. There was no response to my greeting at first, but then, finally, a voice came. "Hey," said a clear male voice, obviously of college age, like me. "Who's this?" "John," I replied, confused. "Oh, sorry, wrong number," he replied, then hung up. I lowered my phone slowly and leaned against the thick brick wall of the stairwell. That was strange. I looked at my received call list, but the number was unfamiliar. Before I could think of it further, the phone rang loudly, shocking me yet again. This time, I looked at the caller before I answered. It was another unfamiliar number. This time, I held the phone up to my ear and said nothing. I heard nothing but the general background noise of a phone. Then a familiar voice broke my tension. "John," was the single word in Amy's voice. I breathed a sigh of relief. "Hey, it's you," I replied. "Who else would it be?" she responded. "Oh, the number. I'm at a party on 7th Street, and my phone died just as you called me. This is someone else's phone, obviously." "Oh, okay," I said. "Where are you?" she asked. My eyes glanced over the drab whitewashed block walls and the heavy metal door with its small window. "At my building," I sighed. "Just feeling cooped up. I didn't realize it was so late." "You should come here," she said, laughing. "Nah, I don't feel like looking for some strange place by myself in the middle of the night," I said, looking out the window at the silent, windy street that secretly scared me just a tiny bit. "I think I'm just going to keep working or go to bed." "Nonsense," she replied. "I can come get you. Your building is close to 7th Street, right?" "How drunk are you?" I asked lightheartedly. "You know where I live." "Oh, of course," she said abruptly. "I guess I can't get there by walking, huh?" "You could if you wanted to waste half of an hour," I told her. "Right," she said. "Okay, have to go. Good luck with your work." I lowered the phone once more, looking at the numbers flash as the call ended. Then the droning silence suddenly reasserted itself in my ears. The two strange calls in the eerie street outside just drove home my aloneness in the empty stairwell. Perhaps from having seen too many scary movies, I had the sudden, inexplicable idea that something could look in the door's window and see me. Some sort of horrible entity that hovered at the edge of the aloneness, just waiting to creep up on unsuspected people that strayed too far from the other human beings. Is this person okay? I don't think they're okay.
Maybe psychosis is because they are in psychosis.
Yeah, like, what is happening? We get it, you're alone. I get it. I knew the fear was irrational, but nobody else was around. So I jumped down the stairs, ran down the hallway into my room, and closed the door as swiftly as I could while still staying silent. Like I said, I feel a little ridiculous for being scared of nothing, and the fear has already faded. Writing this down helps a lot. It makes me realize that nothing is wrong. It filters out half-formed thoughts and fears and leaves only cold, hard facts. It's late. I got a call from the wrong number, and Amy's phone died, so she called me back from another number. Nothing strange is happening. Still, there was something a little off about the conversation. I know it could have just been the alcohol she's had, or was it even her that seemed off to me? Or was it, yes, that was it. I didn't realize it until this moment, writing these things down. I knew writing things down would help. She said she was at a party, but I only heard silence in the background. Of course, that doesn't mean anything in particular, as she could have just gone outside to make the call. No, that couldn't be it either. I didn't hear the wind. I need to see if the wind is still blowing. Monday. I forgot to finish writing last night. I'm not sure what I expected to see when I ran up the stairwell and looked out the heavy metal door's window. I'm feeling ridiculous. Last night's fear seemed hazy and unreasonable to me now. I can't wait to go out into the sunlight. I'm going to check my email, shave, shower, and finally get out of here. Wait, I think I heard something. It was thunder. The whole sunlight and fresh air thing didn't happen. I went out into the stairwell and up the stairs only to find disappointment. The heavy metal door's little window showed only flowing water as the terrestrial rain slammed against it. Kind of like now. Only a dim, gloomy light filtered in through the rain, but at least I knew it was daytime, even if it was a gray, sickly, wet day. I tried looking out the window and waiting for lightning to illuminate the gloom, but the rain was too heavy and I couldn't make out anything more than the vague, weird shapes moving at odd angles in the waves washing down the window. Disappointed, I turned around, but I didn't want to go back to my room. Instead, I wandered further up the stairs, past the first floor and the second. The stairs ended at the third floor, the highest floor in the building. I looked through the glass that ran up the outer wall of the stairwell. It was that warped, thick kind that shatters the light, not that there was much to see through the rain to begin with. I opened the stairwell door and wandered down the hallway. The 10 or so thick wooden doors, painted blue a long time ago, were all closed. I listened as I walked, but it was in the middle of the day, so I wasn't surprised that I heard nothing but rain outside. As I stood there in the dim hallway listening to the rain, I had the strange, fleeting impression that the doors were standing like silent granite monoliths, erected by some ancient, forgotten civilization for some unfathomable guardian purpose. Can you use small words, please? I feel stupid reading this. Lightning flashed as I could have sworn that for just a moment the old grainy blue wood looked just like a rough stone. I laughed at myself for letting my imagination get the best of me, but then it occurred to me that the dim gloom and lightning must mean that there was a window somewhere in the hallway. A vague memory surfaced and suddenly recalled that the third floor had an alcove in the inset window halfway down the floor's hallway. Excited to look out into the rain and possibly see another human being, I quickly walked over to the alcove, finding the large thin glass window. Rain washed down it as the front door's window but I could open this one. I reached a hand out to slide it open, but hesitated. I had the strangest feeling that if I opened that window, I would see something absolutely horrifying on the other side. Everything's been so odd lately, so I came up with a plan, but I came back here to get what I needed. I don't seriously think anything will come out of it, but I'm bored, it's raining, and I think I'm going stir crazy. Crazy, apparently. Yes, you are going stir crazy. I came back to get my webcam. The cord isn't long enough to reach the 3rd floor by any means, so instead I'm going to hide it between the 2 soda machines in the dark end of my basement hallway, run the wire along the wall and under my door, and put black duct tape over the wire to blend it in with the black plastic strip that runs along the base of the hallway's walls. I know this is silly, but I don't have anything better to do. Well, nothing happened. I popped open the hallway to stairwell door, steeled myself, then flung the heavy front door wide open and ran like heck down the stairs to my room and slammed the door. I watched the webcam on my computer intently, seeing the hallway outside of my door and most of the stairwell. I'm watching it right now and I don't see anything interesting. I just wish the camera's position was different so that I could see out the front door. Hey, somebody's online. I got out an older, less functional webcam that I had in my closet to video chat with my friend online. I couldn't really explain to him why I wanted to video chat, but it felt good to see another person's face. He couldn't talk very long, and we didn't talk about anything meaningful, but I feel much better. My strange fear has almost passed. I would feel completely better, but there was something odd about our conversation. I know that I said that everything has seemed odd, but still, he was very vague in his responses. I can't recall one specific thing that he said. No particular name or place or event, but he did ask for my email address to keep in touch. Wait, I just got an email. I'm about to go out. I just got an email from Amy that asked me to meet her for dinner at the place we usually go to. I do love pizza, and I've just been eating random food from my poorly stocked fridge for days, so I can't wait. Again, I feel ridiculous about the odd couple of days I've been having. I should destroy this journal when I get back. Oh, another email. Oh my God. I almost left the email and opened the door. I almost opened the door, but I read the email first. It was from a friend I haven't heard from in a long time, and it was sent to a huge number of emails that must have been every person he had saved in his address first. It had no subject, and it simply said, "Seen with your own eyes, don't trust them, they." The words shock me, and I keep going over and over them. It is a desperate email sent just as something happened. The words are obviously cut off without finishing. On any other day, I would have dismissed this as a spam from a computer virus or something. But the words, "seen with your own eyes." I can't help but read over this journal and think back on the last few days and realize that I have not seen another person with my own eyes or talk to another person face to face. The webcam conversation with my friend was so strange, so vague, so eerie. Now that I think about it, was it eerie or was it fear clouding my memory? My mind toys with the progression of events I've written here, pointing out that I have not been presented with one single fact that I did not specifically give out unsuspectingly. The random wrong number that got my name and the subsequent strange return call from Amy, that friend that asked for my email address, I messaged him first when I saw him online. And then I got my first email a few minutes after that conversation. Oh my God, that phone call with Amy. I said over the phone, I said that I was within half an hour's walk of 7th Street. They know I'm near there. What if they're trying to find me? Where is everyone else? Why haven't I seen or heard anyone in days? No, this is crazy. This is absolutely crazy. I need to calm down. This madness needs to end. I don't know what to think. I ran about my apartment furiously, holding my cell phone up to every corner to see if it got signal through the heavy walls. Finally, in the tiny bathroom near one ceiling corner, I got a single bar. That isn't going to do much. Holding my phone there, I sent a text message to every number in my list. Not wanting to betray anything about my unfounded fears, I simply sent, "You seen anyone face to face lately?" At that point, I just wanted to reply back. I didn't care what the reply was or if I embarrassed myself. I tried to call someone a few times, but I couldn't get my head up high enough. And if I brought my cell phone down even an inch, it lost signal. Then I remembered the computer, and I rushed over to it, instant messaging everyone online. Most were idle or away from their computer. Nobody responded. My messages grew more frantic, and I started telling people where I was and to stop by in person for a host of barely passable reasons. I don't care about anything by that point. I just needed to see another person. I also tore apart my apartment looking for something that I may have missed. Some way to contact another human being without opening the door. I know it's crazy. I know it's unfounded, but what if? What if? I just need to be sure. I taped the phone to the ceiling in case. Tuesday, the phone rang! Exhausted from the last night's rampage, I must have fallen asleep. I woke up to the phone ringing and ran into the bathroom, stood on the toilet, and flipped open the phone taped to the ceiling. It was Amy. I feel so much better. She was really worried about me and apparently had been trying to contact me since the last time I talked to her. She's coming over now, and yes, she knows where I am without me telling her. I feel so embarrassed. I am definitely throwing this journal away before anyone sees it. I don't even know why I'm writing in it now. Maybe it's just because it's the only communication I've had at all since God knows when. I looked in the mirror before I came back in here. My eyes are sunken, my stubble is thicker, and I just look generally unhealthy. Well, my apartment is trash, but I'm not going to clean it up. I think I need someone else to see what I've been through. These past few days have not been normal. I'm not one to imagine things. I know I have been the victim of extreme probability. I probably missed seeing another person a dozen times. I just happened to go out when it was late at night or in the middle of the day when everyone was gone. Everything's perfectly fine. I know this now. Plus, I found something in my closet last night that has helped me tremendously. A television. I set it up just before I wrote this. It's on in the background. Television has always been an escape for me, and it reminds me that there's a world beyond these dingy brick walls. I'm glad Amy's the only one that responded to me after last night's frantic pestering of everyone I could contact. She's been my best friend for years. She doesn't know it, but I count the day that I met her among one of the few moments of true happiness in my life. I remember that warm summer day fondly. It seems a distant reality from this dark, rainy, lonely place. I feel like I spent days sitting in the playground, much too old to play, just talking with her and hanging around doing nothing at all. I still feel like I could go back to that moment sometimes, and it reminds me that this dang place is not all that there is. Finally, a knock at the door. I thought it was odd that I couldn't see her through the camera. I hid between the two soda machines. I figured that it was a bad position, like when I couldn't see out the front door. I should have known. I yelled through the door jokingly that I had a camera between the soda machines because I was embarrassed myself that I had taken this paranoia so far. After I did that, I saw her image walk over to the camera and look down at it, and she smiled and waved. I don't know why I found that so creepy all of a sudden. His paranoia is getting to me. I don't like it. Sorry. Hey, she said to the camera brightly, giving it a wry look. It's weird, I know, I said into the mic attached to my computer. I've had a weird few days. Must have, she replied. Open the door, John. I hesitated. How could I be sure? Hey, humor me for a second here, I told her through the mic. Tell me one thing about us. Just prove to me you're you. She gave the camera a weird look. All right, she said, slowly thinking. We met randomly at a playground when we were both way too old to be there. I sighed deeply as reality returned and fear faded. God, I've been so ridiculous. Of course it was Amy. That day wasn't anywhere in the world except in my memory. I'd never even mentioned it to anyone, not out of embarrassment, but out of a strange secret nostalgia and a longing for those days to return. If there was some unknown force at work trying to trick me, as I feared, there was no way they could know about that day. Haha, all right, I'll explain everything, I told her. Be right there. I ran to my small bathroom and fixed my hair the best I could. I looked like hell, but she would understand. Snickering at my own unbelievable behavior and the mess I've made of my place, I walked to the door. I put my hand on the doorknob and gave the mess one last look. So ridiculous, I thought. My eyes traced over the half-eaten food laying on the ground, and the overflowing trash bin, and the bed I tipped to the side looking for God knows what. I almost turned to the door and opened it, but my eyes fell on one last thing. The old webcam, and the one I used for the eerie, vacant chat with my friend. Its silent black sphere lay haphazardly tossed to the side, its lens pointed at the table where this journal lay. As an overwhelming terror took me as I realized that if something could see through that camera, it would have seen what I just wrote that day. I asked her for any one thing about us, and she chose the only thing in the world that I thought they or it did not know. But it did. It did know, and it could have been watching me the whole time. I didn't open the door. I screamed. I screamed in uncontrollable terror. I stomped the old webcam onto the floor. The door shook, and the doorknob tried to turn, but I didn't hear Amy's voice through the door. Was the basement door made to keep out drafts too thick? Or was Amy not outside? What could have been trying to get in, if not her? What the heck is out there? I saw her on my computer, though, through the camera outside. I heard her on the speakers through the camera outside. But was it real? How could I know? She's gone now. I screamed and I shouted for help. I piled up everything in my apartment against the front door. Friday. At last, I think that it's Friday. I broke everything electronic. I smashed my computer to pieces. Every single thing on there could have been accessed by network access or worse, altered. I'm a programmer, I know. Every little piece of information I gave out since this started, my name, my email, my location, none of it came back from the outside until I gave it out. I've been going over and over what I wrote. I've been pacing back and forth, alternating between stark terror and overpowering disbelief. Sometimes I'm absolutely certain that the phantom entity is dead set on the simple goal of getting me to go outside. Back to the beginning, with the cell phone call from Amy. She was effectively asking me to open the door and go outside.
I keep running it through my head. One point of view says I've acted like a madman, and all of this is the extreme convergence of probability. Never going outside at the right times by pure luck, never seeing another person by pure chance, getting a random nonsense email from some computer virus that at just the right time. The other point of view says that extreme convergence of probability is the reason that whatever's out there hasn't gotten me already. I keep thinking I never opened the window on the third floor. I never opened the front door until that incredibly stupid stunt with the hidden camera, after which I ran straight to my room and slammed the door. I haven't opened my own solid door since I flung open the front door of the building. Whatever's out there, if anything's out there, never made an appearance in the building before I opened the front door. Maybe the reason it wasn't in the building already was that it was elsewhere getting everyone else, and then it waited until I betrayed my existence by trying to call Amy, a call which didn't work until it called me and asked me my name. Terror literally overwhelms me every time I try to fit the pieces of this nightmare together. That email, short, cut off, was it from someone trying to get word out? Some friendly voice desperately trying to warn me before it came? Seen with my own eyes, don't trust them. Exactly what I've been so suspicious of. It could have masterful control of all things electronic, practicing its insidious deception to trick me into coming outside. Why can't it get in? It knocked on the door. It must have some solid presence. The door, the image of those doors in the upper hallway as guardian monoliths flashes back in my mind every time I trace this path of thoughts. If there is some phantom entity trying to get me to go outside, maybe it can't get through doors. I keep thinking back over all the books I've read or movies I've seen, trying to generate some kind of explanation for this. Doors have always been such intense foci of human imagination, always seen as wards or portals of special importance. Or perhaps the door is just too thick. I know that I couldn't bash through any of the doors in this building, let alone the heavy basement ones. Aside from that, the real question is, why does it even want me? If it just wanted to kill me, it could do it any number of ways, including just waiting until I starve to death. What if it doesn't want to kill me? What if it has some far more horrific fate in store for me? God, what can I do to escape this nightmare? A knock at the door. I told the people on the other side of the door I need a minute to think and I'll come out. I'm really just writing this down so I can figure out what to do. At least this time I heard their voices. My paranoia, and yes, I recognize that I'm being paranoid, has me thinking all sorts of ways that their voices could be faked electronically. There could be nothing but speakers outside simulating human voices. Did it really take them 3 days to come talk to me? Amy is supposedly out there, along with 2 policemen and a psychiatrist. Maybe it took them 3 days to think of what to say to me. The psychiatrist's claim could be pretty convincing if I decided to think this has all been a crazy misunderstanding and not some entity trying to trick me into opening the door. The psychiatrist had an older voice, authoritarian but still caring. I liked it. I'm desperate just to see someone with my own eyes. He said I have something called psychosis, and I'm just one of a nationwide epidemic of thousands of people having breakdowns triggered by a suggestive email that got through somehow. I swear he said got through somehow. I think he means spread throughout the country inexplicably, but I'm incredibly suspicious that the entity slipped up and revealed something. He said, I am a part of a wave of emergent behavior that a lot of other people are having the same problem with the same fears, even though we've never communicated. That neatly explains the strange email about eyes that I got. I didn't get the original triggering email. I got a descendant of it. My friend could have broken down too and tried to warn everybody he knew against his paranoid fears. That's how the problem spreads, the psychiatrist claims. I could have spread it too with my texts and instant messages online to everybody I know. One of those people might be melting down right now after being triggered by something I sent them, something they might interpret any way that they want, something like a text saying, seen anyone face to face lately? The psychiatrist told me that he didn't want to lose another one, that people like me are intelligent and that's our downfall. We draw connections so well that we draw them even when they shouldn't be there. He said that it's easy to get caught up in paranoia in our fast-paced world, a constantly changing place where more and more of our interaction is simulated. I have to give him one thing. It's a great explanation. It neatly explains everything. It perfectly explains everything, in fact. I have every reason to shake off this nightmarish fear that something or consciousness or being out there wants me to open the door so it can capture me for some horrible fate worse than death. It would be foolish, after hearing that explanation, to stay here until I starve to death, just to spite the entity that might have gotten everyone else. It would be foolish to think that, after hearing that explanation, I might be one of the last people left alive on an empty world, hiding in my secure basement room, spiting some unthinkable deceptive entity just by refusing to be captured. It's a perfect explanation for every single strange thing I've seen or heard, and I have every reason in the world to let all of my fears go and open the door. That's exactly why I'm not going to. How can I be sure? How can I know what's real and what's deception? All of these things with their wires and their signals that originate from some unseen origin. They're not real. I can't be sure. Signals through a camera, faked video, deceptive phone calls, emails, even the television, lying broken on the floor. How can I possibly know it's real? It's just signals, waves, light, the door. It's bashing on the door. It's trying to get in. What insane mechanical device could it be using to simulate the sound of men attacking the heavy wood so well? At least I'll finally see it with my own eyes. There's nothing left in here for it to deceive me with. I've ripped apart everything else. It can't deceive my eyes, can it? Seen with your own eyes, don't trust them, Wait, what? Was that desperate message telling me to trust my eyes? Or warning me about my eyes too? Oh God, what's the difference between a camera and my eyes? They both turn light into electrical signals. They're the same. I can't be deceived. I have to be sure. I have to be sure.
Date unknown. I calmly asked for paper and a pen day in and day out until it finally gave them to me. Not that it matters. What am I going to do? Poke my eyes out? The bandages feel like a part of me now. The pain is gone, and I fear this will be one of the last chances to write legibly, as without my sight to correct mistakes, my hands will slowly forget the motions involved. This is a sort of self-indulgence, this writing. It's a relic of another time because I'm certain anyone left in the world is dead, or something far worse. I sit against the padded wall day in and day out. The entity brings me food and water. It masks itself as kind nurses and as a sympathetic doctor. I think it knows that my hearing has sharpened considerably now that I live in darkness. It fakes conversations in the hallway on the off chance that I might overhear. One of the nurses talks about having a baby soon. One of the doctors lost his wife in a car accident. None of it matters. None of it is real. None of it gets to me, not like she does. That's the worst part. The part I almost can't handle. The thing comes to me, masquerading as Amy. Its recreation is perfect. It sounds exactly like Amy, feels exactly like her. It even produces a reasonable facsimile of tears that it makes me feel on its lifelike cheeks. When it first dragged me here, it told me all of the things I wanted to hear. It told me that she loved me, that she had always loved me, that it didn't understand why I did this, that we could still have a life together, if only I could stop insisting that I was being deceived. It wanted me to believe. No, it needed me to believe that she was real. I almost fell for it. I really did. I doubted myself for the longest time. In the end, though, it was all too perfect, too flawless, and too real. The false Amy used to come every day, and then every week, and finally stopped coming altogether. But I don't think this entity will give up. I think the waiting game is just another one of its gambits. I will resist for the rest of my life if I have to. I don't know what happened to the rest of the world, but I do know that this thing needs me to fall for its deceptions. If it needs that, then maybe, just maybe, I'm a thorn in its agenda. Maybe Amy is still alive out there somewhere, keeping alive only by my will to resist the deceiver. I hold on to that hope, rocking back and forth in my cell to pass the time. And I will never give in. I will never break. I am a hero. The doctor read the paper the patient had scribbled on. It was barely readable, written in the shaky script of one who could not see. He wanted to smile at the man's steadfast resolve, a reminder of a human will to survive. But he knew that the patient was completely delusional. After all, a sane man wouldn't have fallen for the deception long ago. The doctor wanted to smile. He wanted to whisper the words of encouragement to the delusional man. He wanted to scream. But the nerve filaments wrapped around his head and into his eyes made him do otherwise. His body walked into the cell like a puppet and told the patient once more that he was wrong and that there was nobody trying to deceive him.
So he was being deceived the whole time?
Yeah, so he is being deceived.
You were sitting there like, he's crazy. I'm like, no, I feel like something.
Ew.
I don't know. Because they are, I'm telling you. Even the people who are crazy, they're usually not always full crazy. It's like something real happened. And then snowball effect.
So, like, what first clued him in was the first phone call. And that's when they said, "Who is this?" And that's when he gave his name. And, like, I can see where, but it really did seem like he was just being crazy. And then that last paragraph, you're like, oh.
That's what they want you to think.
Yeah. That last paragraph's like, oh, but the doctor is being controlled and ooh.
Yep.
Yeah. Anyways, so what you guys think of the story? I liked it.
That was a roller coaster.
Yeah, that was a roller coaster for sure. Like, I liked it, but it had so many big words in it that I'm like, I could have done with all that. Like,
yeah, like I can do some pretty big words.
Yeah.
But there were some that I was like, bro, I don't even know what this word is. Like, what is this?
Yeah. So that was our first one.
I need to expand my vocabulary.
Same. But anyways, next week we're doing another craft, I think.
Mm-hmm.
So tune in for that. And I guess, do you want to show them what you've done so far?
Yeah, because it's definitely not done. So we're probably, I don't know what I'm gonna do. So it says so far.
I like
It's
the pink
pretty
moon.
cute. Yeah, I like the pink moon. I think I'm gonna make it a little extra. I don't know.
Some.
Yeah. Some. I don't know. I think I need to finish painting my bat since I want to paint him brown, and then I'm gonna like close everything else. Hope for the best.
Yeah.
I'm sad that I did, but maybe these will be dry enough to where I can do because I only want to do the green to do little I just want to do little
cute.
vines off the
Yeah.
pumpkins.
Yeah.
And I could do that real like that's not going to take me long at all.
No. All right. Well.
But yeah, so is that all we have for today? I believe yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
I guess we'll see you next week.
Yep. Come back next week for more nonsense and bring your friends and your craftiness.
Yes. Oh, and don't forget to like and subscribe and comment.
Yes,
of course.
please.
How could I forget?
All right. We'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.